Welcome to my favourite music of 2019. We're going to take a look at albums, we're going to take a look at live performances, best lyrics, but also the most important one, my favourite song of 2019. I might even sing a little bit for you. What I want you guys to do is to put your favourite song, album and lyric in the comments down below. That way I can find some new music to listen to, but in addition to that, if you're watching this video right now, of course, stick around to the end to find out what my best album and best song of the year are. In addition to that, check out the comments too. I'm sure there'll be people in the community with some great suggestions to listen to. Firstly, we're going to take a look at the albums that I loved this year. There are 6 that I'm going to talk about. Blink-182, 9. It feels like forever since I listened to this band, so I thought I should give this album a go. I don't care what you say, no, I don't care what you do. Admittedly, it does fall off towards the end of the album quality-wise, but the first 11 songs are really good. I'm going to the dark side with you. I'm going to the dark side with you. In particular, the first 4 songs are absolute bangers, including my favourite, Heaven. That song has literally been on repeat since it came out. Ed Sheeran, number 6 collaborations. This album is an incredible achievement. He works with so many different artists, and that is just honestly all to do with how amazing Ed Sheeran is. Everyone wants to work with him. Locked, loaded, shoot my shot tonight. My favourite song on the album is Blow, featuring Chris Stapleton and Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars has an absolutely insane guitar solo in it, and Chris Stapleton is honestly a massively underrated artist. Pull my trigger, let me blow your mind. I'm coming, baby. When you listen to that song in particular, it just sounds like that song was so fun to make. Jade Bird with her self-titled album, Jade Bird. This one is a very personal favourite. I discovered her via listening to Radio X. I think it was Love Has All Been Done Before. It was one of their singles of the week, once upon a time. And then when the album came out, this album has basically been the soundtrack to my love life. Sick and tired of just letting you in, just to let you down again. This won't be the last time you hear Jade Bird's name in this video, but this album is a must listen. You are sweet and you are nice, keep me calm and satisfied. Lewis Capaldi, divinely uninspired to a hellish extent. This man is an advertiser's dream. His online presence is unrivaled, and his music, well, it's done pretty good too. I've said 1,000 things before. I've fallen in and out of love. This debut album is one of pure brilliance. Somebody to lean on, somebody to hold. There's not a single song in this album that I'll skip from start to finish. He's then gone and added songs to the end of the album later on in the year, and they are just as good as the others. But everything I touch turns to stone. NF, The Search. This album shows all rappers out there that you can write about meaningful, real-life shit without swearing. Even if we both break down tonight, and you say you hate me, and we go to bed angry. Admittedly, it's another album that I wish kind of finished a little sooner, just because the quality of the tracks kind of drops off towards the end. I'll be here waiting, I promise I'm changing. I just need... But if I could take tracks 1 to 10 and then add Trauma, which comes a little later in the album, just plonk that on the end to make track 11, I'd probably have my favourite rap album of all time. Two passionate people not afraid to say what they think, leads to passionate conversation where it's harder to agree. I can't do that song, it's too hard. Not a rapper. Sam Fender, Hypersonic Missiles. When I first heard this album, I wasn't that bothered about it. And if Saturday don't come soon, I'm gonna lose my mind. I then found out that next year I'm going to be watching Sam support Kasabian in Leicester, so I gave it another listen. And it's safe to say this album grows on you. And if Saturday don't come soon, I'm gonna lose my mind. Yes, there's a lot of tracks on this album that I'll happily skip past, but there's some absolute bangers in between. I've heard he's absolutely great live and I can't wait to see him next year. Talking of live music, I love going to gigs, and there's two in particular that I'd like to talk about from 2019. I watched Royal Blood in Newport, and it was an absolutely brilliant gig in what was essentially a leisure centre, very small venue indeed, and they just performed brilliantly. I've been waiting to see them for years, since I was in university, so we're talking like 5-6 years ago. I really wanted to see them, so I finally got to see them this year, and they did not disappoint. Admittedly, there was something that happened after the gig that wasn't great, but I think I'll save that for a podcast topic. And the second noteworthy live performance of the year goes to Jade Bird. I told you, we're going to talk about her in this video throughout. She performed in Birmingham, the O2 Institute, I think it was at. Very small venue. There were a couple of people in there that were just rude idiots, but apart from that, the gig was brilliant from start to finish. And I was very lucky because after that gig, she actually had to cancel a fair few dates on her tour because of her voice being lost. So I got lucky to see her when I did, and I'm so glad I did as well. Amazing album, amazing live performance. She's had a great year. We're now going to go on to Lyric of the Year. Now, I would never have really made this part of the video other than I absolutely love these two lines. It comes from Stormzy's verse in Take Me Back to London. And no, it's not the trap shit get banged. Chat shit get banged? I don't know. I don't mix with the glitz and the glam or these stupid pricks on the gram. I mean, that for me is just a great bar. And I don't know, is something about that line or those pair of lines that it just stayed with me all year, and that has been my favourite lyric throughout the year. It's just talking about how people on social media are dickheads, and yeah, I can relate. Now, before we delve into my favourite songs of 2019, I've got one honourable mention. Now, this song isn't necessarily my favourite song of the year. It's a good song. It's on my playlist for 2019, but it's just done something quite purely brilliant. KSI, Down Like That, managed to get a top 10 finish in the charts, all because of the power of YouTube. And if anything, that made me fall in love with this platform again, and here we are, I'm uploading. So my songs of the year, in no particular order, solely because I tried to write an order for this, and I sat there for hours and failed to come up with a top list of songs. So we're just going to go through these songs, and I'll talk a little bit about them, and then afterwards I'll tell you my song and album of the year. Canter by Jerry Cinnamon. This is the beginning of the rest of your life. This song sums up my outlook on life recently. Behind the scenes, I've been full of regret about career choices and that sort of thing, and this song just has the lyrics in it that gives me the kick up my arse that I need to kind of get on and do what I want with life and try and pursue things that I want to pursue. You know it could be a canter if you're just a wee bit less of a wanker. I'm mad in half of the time. Heavy Jacket, Cortinas. This song just has so many dimensions to it. The Heavy Jacket segment of the song is just so catchy, it's in your head all day. Heavy jacket, heavy jacket, heavy jacket, come on. Heavy jacket, heavy jacket, heavy jacket, come on. Heavy jacket, come on. Heavy jacket, come on. Heavy jacket. And then when the song breaks down, it gives you an anthem sort of segment, which sounds brilliant live. This is not your home anymore. Reaping what you sow, more and more. This is not your home anymore. Oh. Heaven, Blink-182. Angel wings at the bus stop, halos left on top of the bar. As soon as I heard this song, I was hooked. I've got a few people in my life as well, probably more in my teenage, early 20 years, that I could probably relate this song to, which definitely helps you fall in love with a song more. Heaven doesn't want me now. Heaven doesn't want me. Someone You Loved, Lewis Capaldi. This song is on here solely because it took the world by storm. Somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. And let's face it, many other Capaldi tracks could be on this list. Hold Me While You Wait, for example, is a brilliant song, and if you haven't checked it out already, look up on YouTube. Lewis Capaldi explains the lyrics to Hold Me While You Wait. comedy genius, and you're welcome. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved. But for me, the best song is Someone You Loved. I learnt it on guitar, played it at open mics, so personally, it just holds a special place in my heart this year. Runaway, Lacey. I never thought you'd be giving up. You've got yourself to blame. What on earth is this track, I hear you say? Well, it's a track that I discovered in the early parts of the year. I put it on in the car one day, just looking at like recommended songs for early 2019, and it blew me away. Run away, that's all you're good for anyway. It's got brilliant guitar riffs, and the adrenaline you get from the drum beat is insane. I personally relate to this song from a previous relationship, and honestly, if it had come out like, 3 or 4 years ago, this song would have helped me through a very tough time. You got that lie you can't hide. I see that look in your eye. You get that feeling like you're screaming, but there's nothing to say. That's all you're good for anyway. If you've not listened to Lacey Runaway before, or never even heard of them, go and listen to it now. So to round up, let's talk about my favourite album out of the ones I spoke about, and my favourite track of 2019. The best album has to go to Lewis Capaldi, Divinely Uninspired to a Hellish Extent. This album from start to finish is just banger after banger. Whether it's a slow song, whether it's an upbeat song, he's just written something that is pure brilliance. And the fact that he added songs later in the year to it that were equally as good just shows how talented this guy is. I actually see him live early next year. I can't wait to see him. And yeah, this album is just something, just pure brilliance. And my song of the year is going to be the one you guys haven't heard, Runaway by Lacey. That song, every time I put it on, gets me pumped. Every time I put it on, I'm screaming the words in the car. I absolutely love that tune, and it's nice to have a song that's kind of a hidden gem that you guys can now go and discover. So go and listen to Runaway by Lacey, because honestly I hope you'll love it as much as I do. So there we have it, guys. That is my review of music in 2019. My favourite tracks, my favourite albums. You guys can now go and discover those for yourselves and let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, please hit a massive thumbs up on it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Comment down below your favourite album and song from 2019 so that I've got some new music to discover. And I'll see you guys in the next one.